All right, folks. It's complicated this week. There's a lot of moving parts. There's time jumping. We go back 20 years. We learn a lot of cool stuff, but it's complicated. So, if you haven't watched the episode yet, I'm going to spoil everything moving forward. So, you've had your warning. Pause, go watch it, come back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. She is at the center of everything. And I mean, this is a really complicated thing that they're putting into a relatively short miniseries, right? Because I think it's been pretty much confirmed that they're not doing a season two. This is a one and done, kind of like Watchmen recently. This is not meant to be a multi-season thing. So I'm like, we're like 2 episodes away from the end, and it's like we just got this huge info dump, but some of it, a lot of it makes sense. So if you remember, we got the reveal last week of who Mariko is, and her dad assassinated basically the leader of Japan, um, because he believed that the leader of Japan had become a murdering psychopath and a bad leader, and no one was doing anything about it. Which provoked this thing, this chaos essentially, and the wars and everything else, and eventually led to the rise of her husband, Taiko, who was the leader up until a few years ago, which then we have the regents, and Toranaga is one of those regents. And we find out that at the end of all of this, she blames Toranaga for her father's assassination years and years and years and years and years ago, even though it was Mariko's father who did the assassination. So Mariko's father, as was revealed last week, had to like kill his kids and his wife, and then himself, and like it was executed. Like, but he was executed by seppuku, and but he had to do that to his family first. And Mariko was only spared because she was married or something. I don't remember exactly what the details were because that was a week ago and I do 50 million different things. But she was spared, right? Um, Turns out that these two were friends when they were kids, and they basically grew up together. And there's a lot of backstory and the 20 years of going back as they explore that sort of relationship and watching her father descend into, you know, uh, he was just beheading people, and it didn't look good. And Mariko's father at one point was like so stressed out that he had tears welling up in his eyes, and his daughter stumbles, and Mariko stumbles in and sees, you know, the Lord chopping people's heads off. Um, that's a pretty terrifying sight, and he's just like begging her, go back in, go back in, go back in. And that's one of the reasons he had crafted the marriage to, is it Butaro? I forget her husband's name. Mariko's husband's is Butaro. But the reason he had arranged that marriage is to get her away and to immunize her in a way from his actions before he did what he did against Lady um, Ochiba. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of her name because I don't remember. Um, anyway, that was the catalyst for all these things, and she's back in the city, and she's pissed off at the regents, and she's like, my son will be the next ruler of Japan. And she sets about taking care of this and taking care of Toranaga because she ultimately thinks that he's responsible because she blames him. She thinks he was just whispering in Mariko's father's ear the whole time, like, just kill him, just take him out, just. So she believes that. So she's got a major bug up her bum about him. Um, there's regent politicking here. One of the old men regents um, is not going to go along with Lord Ishido, who basically wants this actor guy he knows, who's a very popular figure with the people. He wants him to come be a regent member to replace Toranaga so that they can actually vote and and push him out. But this old man who's a regent goes against it. He's like, I'm not going to accept this. This is BS. This is stupid. Like, I'm the only one who's here representing the people. You guys are all representing yourselves and power. and he gets pissed. He leaves the table, and Ishido basically follows him out with his men, and they just take him out in the middle of the forest and kill him. And here comes Actor Buddy, and he becomes this new political figure who's going to be the new regent, which prompts this response from Toranaga, which is realizing that this is all taking place, and his people want him to become the shogun. His people are like, you need to take care of this, or we're all gonna die, senor. Let's go, Lord. I said senor because we watch it with subtitles on, so I'm my brain. I have to process two different subtitles when we're watching because Chris has her Spanish subtitles, and I'm also getting the Japanese into English subtitles, and it's fun. Um, his people want him to become the shogun. He doesn't want to become the shogun. He's like, I don't want more land. I just want things to be peaceful. I want the kid to grow up and become the next leader of Japan. That's all I want. But the other people want to manipulate the kid, and they want to manipulate all these things, and it's like,
Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand.
you know, he doesn't want to do anything. But then he realizes if he doesn't, once the assassination happens of the other regent, and they put this puppet regent in place, he realizes that this is going to be the only way to save Japan is to go to the city and enact this plan. I think they call it Crimson Sky, where they're going to attack the city, take out the leaders, take over the city, and become the shogun, the new leader of Japan. And apparently that's where we're heading because that's what they decide to do. So he's eventually convinced of it, and we got 2 more episodes left, so that's where that's going to go. There's also a complicated side plot in this episode with Mariko and Blackthorn. Blackthorn becomes promoted for saving Toranaga's life, and he's gifted with a bigger house, a salary, a title, and he's the commander of the cannon brigade, which is taken away from, I don't remember the names, the bearded guy whose territory they are in. His son was the cannon commander earlier, but then Toranaga's son did the stupid thing, and so they took it away. I don't remember. That was a few episodes ago. Anyway, that's important as well. The subordinate's son or whatever is the guy. I don't remember names because he's sleeping with the town consort. Remember that comes into play here in a minute. Blackthorn gets promoted. At the same time that he's being promoted, the Lord commands Butaro, Marika's husband. He's like, you need to sort your shit out or get divorced, and you need to figure it out. So I'm commanding you to go spend 7 days in isolation away from her and think about it, because I will not have you disrupting my camp because you got drunk and smacked her and caused this huge scene. It's just funny. He's like, I'm not gonna have it in my camp. So then when Mariko comes with Blackthorn to translate, Blackthorn gets his promotion, and he's still grumpy because he wants to leave, but he goes away because Toranaga's like, I'm not gonna talk about this with you. But he commands Mariko to stay and tells her, you need to hire a consort for Blackthorn. I need you to go with him to that meeting because I need you to listen if he's going to talk in his sleep and translate what he talks about in his sleep, or if he tells if he uses pillow talk, I think is the term they were using, with the consort. So the consort who's with the subordinate has to go sleep with Blackthorn, which makes that guy very jealous. So they're pissed off because he got the cannon regiment and he's sleeping with the girl. I think the dad even has slept with the girl. I think that was like one of the first episodes. He watched the concert with someone else. The bearded old man did. So she's the courtesan of the camp, of this area, of one of the local houses. And she has a night with Blackthorn, which makes it uncomfortable with Riko, but um, that's all going on in the background of everything, which is complicating the relationship for Blackthorn, um, but also, serving sort of as a humanizing point for him. So it's interesting. Anyway, that's this week's episode. The next two episodes are probably going to be really intense and fast because it's going to be about taking over the city, taking out all the bad guys, and becoming the Shogun. So can't wait to see it. I've been having a lot of fun with this show. So let me know what you think about it. Let me know your comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. And I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe.